Can't trust technology here.
On the right speed.
No, thank you. I am trying to hypnotize you guys.
Everybody's looking at the color of money. We knew you win and we don't win.
stopping it here. Now's the time. Okay, hi everybody. We're simulcasting this on YouTube and Instagram. And give me 1 second here. Hi. Hello. Yeah. Feel free to take that phone out if you want.
Do you want to?
Sure.
Okay, so part of this announcement that Darren actually has been so lovely and funnily advertising.
No idea what you're talking about.
I think you've done a great job, Darren.
Thank you.
Is that Wednesday, day after tomorrow, anybody who is a paid subscriber to Patreon will be able to, if they want obviously, be able to get the first ever time our self-titled album has ever come out on vinyl. The first edition, first ever, which I will be talking about probably in a little bit. But as a big thank you to our Patreon members already, Wednesday it's going to go on sale. Also, you can sign up if you want to Patreon to also get this deal. But on Wednesday, it's going to go up for sale. We've only made 500 copies of this first pressing. It looks like that, and it's got all of the original CD artwork that's even larger than the CD artwork was itself. And that was my apartment during the making of this record, the messiest house of all time. And so, okay, Friday goes on sale to the general public, but because we've only printed 500 of them, we definitely wanted to make sure that our Patreon subscribers got a chance to get it first. Having said that, Darren, am I missing anything for this initial aspect of the vinyl release?
I mean, we could show them the fact that there's different.
There are two different colorways. There's two different vinyls.
I'll get
grab that guy, and then also this is so fun. Thank you guys for being here with us.
This guy too, of course. With when we show
That is for in a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Patreon saw it first. Just now.
So there are two different colorways of the vinyl. There's this jammer, and then there is this jammer, which you saw earlier. I think this one is called the Big Brat Splatter. And the other one is Jabberjaw 2 color and color. I don't know what it's called. Just Jabber. Let's call it Jabberjaw. And there will be. This is. I would have to consult my notes, but there's going to be 200 of one and 300 of the other, I think, or it might be 250 of each. But it sounded. I feel like there was 300 of one. And
I think there like 500 in total.
There are 500 in total.
So yeah, it's either 250 or 300.
And Enjoy the Ride Records, who made these with us, is quite confident that they're going to sell very, very quickly. So I really suggest if anybody desperately wants it, you could even just sign up for 1 month if you're not already a paying member of Patreon to ensure that you get it on Wednesday. Wednesday, 12 noon to 11:59 p.m. They will be up on a secret link that only Patreon members will get. And then they go on sale for real on Friday, and we'll be advertising the shit out of them. Next up, Darren is very excited for this, which is so there's another announcement as well. So self-titled, 2 different vinyls.
Question.
Yeah, yes, question.
Question in the chat was, can you get both of them?
Yes.
Or like buy 2? Yes. Okay.
You can only buy the 2 though, because Enjoy the Ride are really thinking people will want them, and
It's very limited.
will get pissed if you
Right.
get more than one of each. And then, okay, Darren, please, as I put this back into the
Another thing in the
jacket.
chat is Pacific Standard Time, Eastern Time, or Central Time.
That's a good question. I'm pretty sure it is Eastern Standard Time, the 12 noon to 11:59 p.m. On Wednesday. Yeah.
Showing Patreon first. I know you guys saw this in the opening of our live, but what do you call this, Alex? A slip mat?
It's a slip mat.
Slip mat for a record. And the cool thing, which I think you kind of saw, is when you put on the Big Brat Splatter
It
record,
almost went splat.
it's clear. So you kind of see this underneath, which just makes it looks really fucking
For
cool.
those of you that can't see, I'll just.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show. Well, I wanted to show Patreon first, but
So yeah, and before Darren shows the other side, which is the other announcement that we have, check that out.
we are not done yet, guys. Record slip mat.
And then that will be sold by itself, but for our next announcement, which is in summer, it's such a weird thing to announce this, but Darren, do you want to show the other side of that slip mat? So
So this is gonna
this
be,
is going to come also for free
Let's show
with
Patreon first.
yeah, with the next release, and that is a zoetrope. So we have the other side of the slip mat is an animated, and then if you show it to this side too, we are releasing our first, could be only, but our first holiday / Christmas EP vinyl, and it will come with this slip mat that you just saw, which has two sides, and I think I'm ready for this one too. Okay, yeah. So this vinyl is coming out in late November, I think, whenever Christmas thoughts start happening. It's called Maybe You Still Call It Christmas. And I'm so excited to show you the vinyl because I think it came out so fucking cool. All right, now for the Patreon subscribers, even the free ones at the time, because everybody has been so supportive and we wanted to thank them, that everybody who signed up for Patreon is thanked on the back of this Christmas
Oh, dang.
vinyl.
Oh, that's really cool. Can you guys find your names? It's so small.
It's so small.
It's so small.
And there was a lot of people. But we just wanted to thank you, and so especially for the holiday cheer, we wanted to do it on this. And I'm super stoked on the color of this vinyl. So obviously we're knocking ideas back and forth. I think I might have had some stupid idea of like, could there be actual snow inside of it or whatever? So Michelle and Ross of Enjoy the Ride Records came up with this amazing thing. And it's clear, but it also has tons of, and of course it doesn't track very well here, but it's glitter, and it's a beautiful glitter. Will you hand me that slip mat, Darren?
Yeah.
And the two combined, because as you know, these come together, make one of the most epic looking things I've ever seen. I'm super stoked on it. Thank you, Darren.
Sure.
Is it
Um,
made out of peppermints?
Oh, that was the other thing.
Yeah.
I wanted a candy,
That's right.
entirely made of candy vinyl,
That is true.
but the logistics of candy and moisture in the air and vinyl do not mix. Let me check my notes here too, because.
Right.
Oh yeah. So the other thing for anybody who's like a freakazoid collector, there's the other one under there too. We made test pressings so that we could tell if the vinyl that was printed came out listenable. So we're selling those ones, very limited edition, with AmpSock custom jackets. These are made of an amazing foil. Doesn't really come across how amazing it works with the light. But I also forgot the self-titled also has test pressings, extremely limited, with this custom jacket as well, which
Oh, that's
if
fun.
anybody bought the CD back at the time, which was the last time it came out physically in 2004, 20 years ago. This was the sticker that was on the front of the artwork when you bought the CD. That has now been turned into a beautiful, crazy multicolor, which of course does not track very well in here, but multicolor metallic foil.
You could see it
Thing.
when the light hits.
Yeah,
That's right.
I can see that.
So once again, for anybody tuning in, on Wednesday, if you're a paid Patreon member, you have access to a special link where you can buy any of the things we just mentioned, the self-titled First Time Ever on Vinyl, and the first ever Phantom Planet holiday album, EP. On the holiday album EP, I don't want to give too much away yet now, even though you can order it day after tomorrow, but we'll be advertising this, I think, the whole week, talking about it the whole week. The Christmas album has Phantom Planet's. We took on the behemoth of all time, Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You," but we did it kind of in the style of Big Brat from Self-Titled, also knowing that these things were coming out around the same time. So there's that, and I feel like we could have a little bit of a listening party. We could talk about more stuff. I know that like we are going on a self-titled headlining tour, October and November, and we're also having these VIP experiences that you can find through our Patreon or a link on Instagram. But we're super stoked. It's called Motel Phantom. It's got a whole theme and there's tons of free shit you can get. It's cool, backpacks and whatever. But the one thing our team mentioned to me, Scott, was that there's a little bit of a loophole, which I think people could take advantage of if they wanted to. But if you become a know-it-all, which is our highest tier, even for the month, and get tickets for the VIP experience, they are free when you're a know-it-all. You cancel after the month and you'd be saving, a lot of money doing it that way. But he wanted to make sure that I said that.
There's two questions too that I want to kind of go over.
Yeah.
I'll sit down for a minute.
Ooh.
It said this on the infographic that I made that shows the Hanson tour that we have on one side and then the intertwined self-titled shows that we have. A lot of people were saying, oh, you're not playing our city, you're not coming to our area, you're not playing Los Angeles. Not necessarily true. Just for right now, we have these particular shows set, and as we play them and we kind of see what the feedback is that we get, we're going to start potentially adding more shows. Oh, thank you. That's good. A little higher.
Take a load off.
And then what was the other thing that I wanted to touch on? Oh, we keep getting asked too, is Sam playing with us for any of the tour, Hanson, self-titled?
Yeah,
And
it's looking like, by the way, it's looking like most, there are going to be a few that he can't make because of prior engagements or even contractual engagements with
there you go.
the other band that he plays in, Maroon 5. But for the most part, it will be a Sam-filled event.
Yeah.
Events. Another hand up.
Yes.
You.
Question from the chat. Can know-it-alls attend multiple VIP events for free?
Yes.
Ooh.
That's the other thing. So a multiple event in this case would be if we played a Hanson show and then somewhere nearby we also played a headlining show. Both of those nights we'd be having the VIP Motel Phantom experience. Both of those would be free for a know-it-all.
Another thing I want to clarify too, because we've advertised it as two, not different things, but two titles. Old Fashioned Hour with the PHAS, and then Motel Phantom.
Yeah.
That's all the same thing.
It's all
just
the
to
same
be, Just to be
thing.
clear, yeah.
The one thing also in clearing stuff up is that it's called Motel Phantom because obviously motels might have a bar in them where you could have an old fashioned, but there's so much other stuff that is coming in this package. There's like this amazing keychain. It's 70s motel keychain that has a bunch of shit on it, cool stuff on it. Backpack, old-fashioned mix that you'll get to leave with that was concocted by Sam and the rest of Phantom Planet. And other stuff that I'm not remembering, but and you get to hang out with the band, you get to hear music before we play the music live for a show. And yeah, we're stoked. So Motel Phantom just means it's a bigger old-fashioned hour. There's a hotel attached to the bar.
Yep. What else do we have? I feel like there's more stuff to discuss.
I do too. Let me peruse my
We
notes.
got
really
little
quick.
notes there. We had a little band meeting before this, earlier in the day. Hell yeah, coming to see us in Iowa. That's Davenport, right? Where we're playing,
Yep.
I believe.
It's so funny. There's like so many people from Brazil in chat. I'm surprised.
Hi, Brazil.
Hi, Brazil.
It looks like we touched upon most of the points that we wanted to. In that, definitely. I mean, I was most excited to do this live and for this entire week of mostly Darren. In fact, entirely Darren.
Well, you've been
Advertising
busy
this.
doing other things, so it's the least I could do.
Well, thanks, Darren. Also, you nailed it. It's fucking amazing. So funny. That so the self-titled album being on vinyl for the first ever time is so exciting to me. That album came out just right before a time when vinyl was in small circles sort of starting to get momentum. But now that it has its chance, I'm so happy that it can come out.
I want to really quick. Paul Larva here is asking, when do the test pressings go on sale? Before we answer that question, Paul, I have a crazy weird memory. Did you come up to us at the end of a show, maybe in New York, several years back, hey, and bring us these hand-painted,
Whoa, the dolls?
no, not the dolls.
Okay.
Those are amazing too. But he came and he brought, I think he did it for everybody, but there was one that was a hand-painted portrait of me from a photo that was taken of me, and it like blew my mind.
Yeah.
It's at my parents' place, like
It's
displayed
over
in the
their
living room.
bed. In fact,
It really is though. It's displayed in the living room of my parents' place. They were blown away by it. So if that's you, and I'm pretty sure it is, you guys should check out his artwork because it's fucking incredible.
funny.
I believe the test pressings will go on sale early for paid Patreon subscribers. That we'll do another one of these tomorrow, or do some posts that will be public for anybody that visits our Patreon site of specifics that we might be leaving out, because like there's a laundry list of bullet points that I don't totally remember. But I know for certain that because both of these releases that we're talking about, the vinyl self-titled, the vinyl Christmas/holiday EP, was brought about specifically because of how amazing you guys on Patreon have been. And if it weren't for, honestly, if it weren't for you guys like annoying the shit out of us to like, hey, self-titled never came out on vinyl, like, is there anything you can do? And like that fire up our ass was what made it happen.
Yeah,
Like
it's true.
that fire made us gave us a fire to then annoy the shit out of Sony to allow us to make the vinyl, because Sony still, for better or for worse, owns those recordings, because that's what record deals have been like since time immemorial. But without the Patreon folks, both things wouldn't have happened. So we really want to extend a thank you and give the credence and the give whatever we can back by allowing anybody who's a Patreon member, subscriber to, get the vinyls first.
There's a good question here too. If we bought Motel Phantom already and become a know-it-all, can we be refunded?
So the refund becomes really hard, but if you have a friend, you can, pass the tickets on to them.
I have a question about that.
But in the
Yeah.
future, when
Yeah.
we play shows, if you're a know-it-all,
Right.
then you will have access. So
Right.
it's that's just kind of the way it works.
Also, in the vein of asking the question of can I be refunded if I become a know-it-all now, the Darren hitting it the best, but we just learned from our management that is what should be advertised, or like we should tell people about, is that had we known earlier and Patreon is pretty new. If we had known earlier, we'd be able to have managed this better for the individual, but at this point, this is the way it is. But from here on out, everyone knows know-it-alls, free VIP for life.
How do know-it-alls RSVP for the meet and greets?
I can answer that. So know-it-alls, I'm talking to Patreon now. If you send us a DM on Patreon, either Alex and I will check it. I check it every day, and I'm just trying to stay on top of it. But basically, just leave a subject line that says, guest list for Motel Phantom. Tell me which show you want, and as long as you're a know-it-all, I will take care of you. I'm personally handling the guest list for it. So,
Which Darren deserves another.
dude, we
plus.
both contribute. But here, there's another really good question here.
Yeah,
too.
I thought so. I just read that too.
Go for it.
So another question was, will we be playing any non-self-titled album songs during our self-titled headlining tour? 100%. That record's pretty short in and of itself. Like, that's a 42-minute record, maybe, or 43. I don't know.
Something like that.
Something like that. There will be. Let's consider these headlining shows as the opener of our set is the self-titled in its entirety, and then after that is the headlining of all of the other songs that anybody wants to hear.
And any chance you guys would do a deep dive into self-titled one time?
I mean, yeah.
Like play, when you say that, do you mean like play song, like deep cuts on the songs of the songs on the record?
'Cause, like-
or talk about it more?
Because literally that's a good question. Because for the live performance, we are going to go, maybe it's not going to be in order, but we will be playing every single one of the self-titled songs.
Wait, we're not just going to play Big Brat 15 times? Because that's what I thought we were doing.
Shit, don't tell them that. Jesus. Fuck. Darren.
Hey, that's what I thought. I thought we were just playing Big Brat over and over again.
Also, Darren, just so you know, it's Big Brat.
Of
bratwurst.
course. I've been pronouncing
so you
it
know.
incorrectly the whole
The
time.
whole time.
The whole entire time.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
It's about a big wiener.
A Big Brat.
Big bratwurst.
It is Paul Arva. I was right. I knew it, man. Your name, for whatever reason, has just stuck with me all these years. I think it was that place in Brooklyn, on the rooftop. What is that called?
What is that called?
It's not the Hideout. The
The roof in
can't
Brooklyn.
think of the name of it. It's an amazing
Hideout,
place.
no.
Not the Hideout. Not the Hideout. Thank you, Nikia, saying that I
I
look
have
fresh.
another question.
Nikia's
I don't know
on
if
here
you
because
have-
she's bored because she missed her or didn't get her flight. Missed is
Oh,
gonna
shit.
make her pissed.
I didn't know that. What is your question?
Do know-it-alls also need to buy tickets to the show, or is it only the VIP included?
So yeah, the tickets would need to get purchased as well. The VIP element is its own version of its own show, privately for a very select few ticket holders that get the VIP experience.
Another thing too is that if you're a know-it-all and you're coming to what is with me? If you're coming to the show, Motel Phantom, know-it-alls do get a +1 for the happy hour, Motel Phantom, what do you call it, whatever you call it. So that's just something to note.
That is a good thing to note.
Yep.
Which is something we've figured out only very recently, just so everybody forgives us for any reason.
That's kind of funny. This local Arizona band called Practically People wants to play with you guys in Tucson, by the way, and call it the PPPP show. You guys should get them on. That's funny.
That's funny.
You know what? We will look into it. We do have Range Life coming on tour with us for the self-titled Elements, I think in Arizona. Also, like a lot of the stuff that we're excitedly telling you guys about right now. I'm miserable with the actual data, but we will be posting stuff, all the details, everything on Patreon and Instagram about this stuff. But PPPP, Quadra PP, sounds good to me
PPPP.
too.
Here's a good question too. Will the self-titled repressing have any demo bonus tracks on it?
Hold on. Are there not demo, but bonus tracks on here? Not this one, but I'll tell you what. Because there was a Japanese version of this, and this is obviously we didn't put out the Japanese version, we'll put up a link for anybody who buys this for the other things that were on there, like I think
This Day
Stiffs
On.
was on there from this day on.
Yep.
We have you covered.
All right, what else do we have here? Any other questions on Patreon, by the way?
Just so you guys know, if there's any suggestions to the band and from Patreon about Patreon, I'm gonna take notes on the side. That way, because we also have, I think, Instagram going right now. So I kind of want to keep certain things to internal Patreon, so I can have them answer that later.
I like
Guys, look how fucking messy my apartment was. And this would have been in 2003. No thumbs up, Apple. It wasn't even up. This isn't even the half of how amazingly messy my apartment was. I still own this orange couch. I love it. There's a song we wrote about it called the Orange Couch Song. But that also comes in the self-titled, which is like, I haven't seen it this big because it's bigger than a CD. would be.
I get told that all the time.
It's bigger than a CD. Great job, Darren. Congratulations.
What can I
High five
tell
on
you?
that one.
What can I tell you?
Alex, someone's calling you out on your shirt being the same shirt as ever. Someone
Yeah.
knows that this is here.
I'm sponsored by Recurrent Tigers.
So here's a question. Motel Phantom tickets and the concert tickets are sold separately, correct? Yes.
Yeah. When there gets to be an ability for us to have an overarching non-ticket master or whatever control over stuff, if that could ever happen, that might just be us like playing privately in like a church or something. But everything's separate for now because that's what the law says. I'm a lawyer.
Here's an interesting question. How do you guys feel about Phantom Planet is Missing? I don't see a lot of love for it anymore. I love Dying of Silence, right? I love Dying of Silence. You should play it in Minneapolis.
If in Minneapolis you are coming to the VIP experience, that could be a very strong option as a request because we're taking requests to play intimately for anybody who has songs like this that might not translate that well at the moment to stage, to the full live performance.
From Patreon, yeah.
Yeah, from Patreon. I love that song too. You know what? Just a quick aside. That song was about my crush in 10th and 11th grade. There was a girl named Gina in my high school, in it's public high school, Palisades High School, about how awkward I felt just being in the presence of this person. And I'm glad that you like it. And selfishly, it triggered a for some reason, just because you mentioned it, triggered a bunch of old memories that I
Nice.
haven't thought about for a very long time. So thanks.
I always forget because it's been like a million years, but is that the...
I might be in drum G.
Darren, show your socks.
Oh,
real
no,
quick.
that's-
Patreon's
that's,
got a foot fetish.
That's
I think it's green.
it's another one.
Oh, is it
Is
the one
it
that...
teal? Oh, it's teal.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
As I stand here
Yeah.
dying in silence tonight.
It's been so long, like, I sometimes don't remember which songs are on which record.
Gina and I were never a thing, and she got asked to prom before I wasn't gonna ask her to. I was too nervous to ask her to prom. I asked someone completely different that I didn't even know, and she said no, so I didn't go to prom.
No.
Will we be recording or filming any of the self-titled shows?
Yes. Mike Kelly, who is a director, filmmaker, who has been over the last now year making a documentary on Phantom Planet, will be filming a bunch of the East Coast shows in their entirety for a movie. But because he'll be filming them in entirety, I feel like we should also, and we haven't talked about this, but like just bring a little mini rig to record things
Yeah.
properly. But I think that would be really fun for us to, because we're probably gonna not hit every single city in America. So anybody that might miss it, a few months later, we'll have a cool edit and good sounding recording of the self-titled shows.
Interesting comment. You're Not Welcome Here is the best song on that album. Shocked it doesn't get more love. Part of the reason for that is because it like wasn't on Spotify for some reason. I forget
Yeah,
what
it
the
wasn't
reason
on
was.
any streaming service, and no one could figure out why.
Yeah.
So I asked everybody involved with, from Dave Fridman, the producer, Jason Schwartzman, co-writer of the song, Dan Fields, our old manager, Coconut Records current manager. Nobody had any clue because that was just a mistake.
Right.
And that mistake, because Spotify had the mistake, I think in a legal way even, the other streaming services were like, oh yeah, let's do what Spotify did.
Right.
So it's back up. Also
Yeah.
thanks to Patreon as well for fucking lighting the fire under our ass.
It's not that we don't love the song. It's just that exactly what Alex just said. It's kind of just a weird circumstantial thing. Oh,
Accident. It was
Brad,
an
by the
accident.
way, says Elsewhere.
Oh, Elsewhere.
That was the name
That's
of
the
the
Brooklyn-
Brooklyn place
Yeah.
that Paul Larva gave us our portraits.
I think Brad's just in there.
Yeah.
Are you guys allowed to perform somebody's baby?
Always allowed to, in any performance of any song in a public, I'm trying to get my legal words right, like the legality of it, but like a venue, Guitar Center, if a restaurant is playing songs off of the radio, everybody has to pay a public performance fee to as publishing money. But you can, for a band, you can, in a public place, cover anything you want. They kind of have to cover the costs of that themselves, which isn't that much. It's like, pennies on the dollar. But yeah, we could totally do that. Putting that out is its own little bit different of a thing, but usually in the arts, sharing art is a loving and open thing. When it becomes commerce, that's when the art becomes more of a team of legal people doing stuff thing.
I want to point out too that on Patreon, we did take song requests, and I kind of structured them in order from the most requested to the least requested. So we do have a stack of songs that we're going to be hopefully performing.
Yeah, we also definitely in the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Whatever the we can't learn like all 200 songs necessarily.
That's the thing,
to play
yeah.
them well.
Yeah.
that is still an open list. Like for anybody who is even thinking about being a Patreon actual paid subscriber, your vote will count. If there's a song on the list that you don't see, and you want it, tell us.
I will say the top requested song on Patreon by far was After Hours. So I'm assuming.
Which is wild to me too. I
It's
love
a
the
great
song, but
yeah,
like
I love that song too.
I guess because we've never played it really that much, like once or twice. Seriously,
I think we played it more than that, haven't we, in the past?
I don't
Really?
honestly like
Shit.
when even on tour for the self-titled, like that might have happened a couple times.
Damn.
That's a good question. Will
Yeah.
all Patreon levels receive the same access to the pre-sale link on
Yes.
Wednesday?
Yes,
That was fast.
everybody who's any kind of paid supporter of the band. Also, like I do want to do another thank you to everybody who's been a currently Patreon paid subscriber. It takes a lot to keep the lights on for Phantom Planet, and you guys have considerably helped, like so much. So thank you.
So by that, Free would not get access to the link then? Just
Free won't get access to
Mhm.
Wednesday's link, but you will get an access to Friday's link before other people will.
Cool.
Like the rest of the world will.
Just trying to catch up on
Yeah.
any questions.
Give me 1 second.
Sure. We missed the beginning. Was the announcement already made? All right, we're just gonna restart this real quick.
Let's do just one quick
real
recap.
fast, real fast.
Damn it, I thought that's the one with the element.
It's all good. We're gonna catch you guys up real quick.
Also, just because I get to show these fucking amazing
One more
vinyls.
time.
It is really nice.
Phantom Planet, for the first time, is releasing our self-titled album. It has Big Brad on it, After Hours, bunch of cool shit. On vinyl with very, very cool colorways. This is one of them. We can also like do a listening party after this, after we answer everybody's questions. And then the pink splatter, which is clear, as you can see. Clear-ish.
And then we can show them this too, if you want.
Yep. And then we are also offering this slip mat as well, which also has a zoetrope. And this is either for sale by itself, but if you buy the Christmas EP vinyl that we've made, which I'm super stoked about too. This is an animated. I'm really trying my best here, but it's not going to show up as big. It's a zoetrope, so it's an animated cool thing with Phantom Planet. And also just because we're catching people up, let me grab this for you.
Oh shit, yeah.
We have our first ever holiday EP that I'm also super stoked on, that has a really cool vinyl in it and vinyl colorway as well, which is a sparkling, it's so hard to show this, but sparkling clear vinyl. And it has 4 songs that have never been released. One kind of has, but this is a remix of one of them. And it's got our cover of Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You in the style of Phantom Planet's self-titled Big Brat, because we knew that these would be coming out at the same time. And everybody who was a Patreon subscriber, free or not, is thanked on this vinyl. And for future releases, if you become a Patreon subscriber, you will also make it onto something like this, but maybe not exactly like this, because the page is going to get filled up pretty quick.
How many songs are on the holiday EP?
Holiday EP is 4 songs. One of them is the song Maybe You Still Call It Christmas. And the others we will be talking about later this week.
Mm.
Here's a funny question. On the Chicago Live DVD, there was some bonus feature stuff from the tour bus. You guys are singing 10 Men.
Oh
I've
my
always
gosh.
wondered, what is that song? I still play the bass line all the time.
Okay.
Amazing.
Also, will you like DM us with what that bass line was? Like so
I don't know.
I was working on a demo. I was just working on music in the back of the bus, of our tour bus, and it kind of had a dance hall feel to it. I remember that part, but I think Darren just came in. He's like, "What's this beat?" And then I think you were just like, "You know what would be good over this? I like 10 Men. I like 10 Men." And then I was like, "Sing it again. I like 10 Men."
Yep.
But that was never a song. I mean, it is kind of now, but it wasn't a song then. And Darren just came in with something, and we were riffing, and it was the video was recording. So
Totally ridiculous.
that's what happened.
Will you guys ever release the Devastator album in CD format? Some of us still collect physical media and do not own turntables.
I'll tell you what, that is a great thing to look into. Also because I haven't owned a turntable in a long time either. I just bought one kind of basically to play the test pressings for these vinyls. Test pressing, for any of you tuning in, is just, hey, we made this vinyl, artist who recorded it, does this sound the way you want it to? Test pressing. And I couldn't listen to anything. So I bought the vinyl, not the vinyl, the record player. Yeah, that's the story. It's boring as fuck.
Another great question. Will you be playing You're Not Welcome Here on tour?
Yeah,
Yes. We're playing the entire record.
but we're going to be playing it completely grayed out and you won't be able to hear it. Just kidding.
air guitar
Yeah.
version. Yeah.
We're playing every song that was on that album first, and then every song that anybody wants to hear from all the other albums after.
Is the Christmas album going on sale Wednesday and then shipping out in November?
It is, that's a great question. I think there will be another push for it in November, but these things are going on sale now and they will come to you early. But I would, as the artist, highly suggest not listening to Christmas music like in summer or in fall.
Here's a question that I genuinely don't know the answer to, and maybe you do. It's obviously a joke question, but I think it's funny. What's your opinion of Maroon 5 writing a song about Sam and not either of you? Are you jealous? Stop kidding. Or sorry, kidding. My question, though, is what's
Is
the
there a song
song that
about
they
Sam?
wrote about Sam? What song is it? What is it called?
I know that Sam's dad, John Farrar, who produced and wrote a bunch of shit, but also produced Olivia Newton-John's stuff and wrote half of Grease.
And Xanadu. Yep.
Wrote a song called Sam, which was before Sam was born, which is what he's named after. I'm not jealous of that. I think that's a beautiful thing.
You guys were game changers during COVID. I remember you guys breaking down songs, guitar parts, such good memories.
Oh, thanks.
If you're not on our Patreon, by the way, I know we sound like used car salesmen here, but for real, we have a tablature section and like videos, and Sam just did a video for it, doing some bass parts. I'm constantly on there trying to like upload and basically catalog literally every Phantom Planet song. Anyone that can be done as a tutorial.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
also, you've done such an amazing job. Sam's very recently done an amazing job
Yeah.
on his bass parts. And I was perusing what we've already posted on Patreon, and I know there's going to be so much more, but there's almost 400 posts of like actual stuff.
Oh yeah.
If it's not like song tablature, it's like
Behind the
unreleased
scenes.
songs, behind the scenes,
Improvisations that you do,
Yeah.
songs you're working on.
previously unreleased Phantom Planet stuff that was recorded over the last 35 years, 34 years.
And then on top of that, Alex and I mostly are in the
Love.
chat. We're in love.
We're in love.
We're in the Patreon chat like a lot during the day, and we're just answering questions and talking to people.
Yeah,
Just because why not?
unfortunately for our Patreon subscribers, Darren and I, just like most of the human race, our limbic systems have been co-opted by social media, and we're just on social media all day, including Patreon.
Mostly Patreon.
This is a
Exactly.
memory
Mostly, yeah.
jog question. I remember that creepy ancient human skull on the tour bus.
Sculpius.
Scorpius,
Whatever happened to it?
he's in storage apius.
Jesus.
He's in a storage space that I've been renting now for 5 years that I shouldn't be still renting, and just my momentum is terrible. But when that gets moved to my storage space at my house, Sculpius will be reunited with
Here's
us.
a great question. Will the songs be played the way they are on the album or the way they're usually played live?
Good question. I think they will be as close as we can to the feeling of the originals. But when a band plays something live anyway, you're getting a brand new set of facets, dimensions, and other things.
It's true. Another thing too is like, the record came out 20 years ago, so the way that we play now is just different. Like it just feels different, but not in a bad way necessarily. I would say probably.
I'd say
actually
better.
in a better way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tighter.
But like, for example, in doing multiple interpretations of that question, like some songs might go on a little bit longer because we love the instrumental section or whatever. So that might happen. But it would still be in tune with what the song elicits emotionally or feeling wise.
Here's a great question, and I think you already answered it. But you can always reiterate. Any chance you would sell the Hotel Phantom room keys?
There's a chance, but well, we'll see. But it would probably be after this tour, because these room keys are a very special thing to me. Like I designed them, and I found this specific company that still makes like the 60s, 70s, like a Palm Springs motel from the 70s. With the fucking, I picked the color, and the color is so deliciously
It's good.
70s and ugly.
It's really good.
Ugly and beautiful. But that's definitely for Motel Phantom VIP experience ticket holders first. And then if there's, for example, a demand for it after the fact, then definitely. Because I like these people too that we've found for the print and make the hotel room keys. Like they're really nice human beings. And it's unfortunate even that they just make motel keys, because I would want them to do so much other stuff. They love what they do.
I have a question over here.
Sam will be playing live.
All right. Is there any chance we can buy the Raise the Dead necklaces before Halloween?
Snap.
Yep, that question.
Yes, there's a chance. And not only is there a chance, because that is too ambiguous. Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen. Also, I brought this out, but this didn't make it into the finals for potential merch necklace designs, but it's the same font as the self-titled, so I just brought it out as a thing to show. Of course, it's backward on the thing. But I thought this
You
was
can see
kind
it.
of fun. It's a little gaudy, but this would be another option if people wanted this. But it's ugly. It's ugly. It's just it's in the Rocky AOE typeface.
And so we're being asked on the whole Sam tip, who will be taking over for Sam on bass at the shows that he's not at, and that's going to be our friend Chris.
Chris, who is, I don't think Chris would take offense at this, and I don't mean it offensively, but Chris has been obsessed with Sam's bass playing for decades.
Yep.
and has learned every single thing about Sam's playing, which is a bonus to an already amazing musician and amazing dude.
Another funny thing too.
Chris, by the way, I'm talking about Chris.
Chris, yeah.
Okay.
Another
just checking.
funny thing with Chris is that Chris plays bass with Darren Chris. And the funny thing with that is that Darren, Chris, it's like a big, it fucks us up every time we're all together.
It makes you think maybe we're living in a simulation, right?
We definitely are.
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Bella, you missed out on the announcement, but maybe we can share pics or something in the chat too.
One
for
more
you.
time!
One more time. I guess we're going one more time.
Phantom Planet slip mats. That's not the important thing. The self-titled vinyl is coming out for the first time ever.
That one
And you can purchase if you are a Patreon paid subscriber on Wednesday.
What about the variation, Alex?
I don't know where it went.
Oh.
It might still also be here.
Oh.
But there's two different colorways. Where is any? Okay, here. Obviously this is, Darren didn't even have to say it, but this is my favorite too. The super colorful one.
I think they're both
They're
awesome.
both amazing,
Yeah.
but like this is my Jim Jammer.
That does look
So
amazing.
also one of the amazing parts about these vinyls is that because a human being has thrown pigment or whatever, like the vinyl into a thing, each one of these is different. Every single one.
Yep.
And I like the one I got in particular. But when Michelle and Ross from Enjoy the Ride Records sent pictures, I was in love.
Should I open mine just to show
Yeah.
how different they can look? Here.
I hope it looks different enough, otherwise I'm gonna look like a liar.
Sure it will. Where are my records? Can I put them back in here?
Yes. Yes.
Real quick.
Yeah, also like another kudos to Enjoy the Ride Records because all of the design that I put my heart and soul into and in the reworking of the original self-titled release, they did such a great job of reprinting in the exact colors so this is not an exact color, this is a reverse thing that I did, but all of these things that they did are to a T exactly how the CD came out, because it came out so long ago that CDs were kind of the only thing you bought at the time.
So here, just real quick,
Big
Yeah.
reveal.
if you want to put them together, this one is mine. See if it looks any different than yours. I think it does, because these two things are a different color on mine.
Oh, I think those
I don't
are
think
the
they're there on
colors.
theirs. Oh, I guess it is.
They were the same colors.
How close is it? It's pretty close. This one's
Yeah.
pretty close.
Look at that. Ooh.
Well, they had to do to a degree. Yeah, so my top's different,
Yeah.
as you guys might be able to see. Yours is more rounded. I actually like yours the best. Can I have
You
that?
want to trade? I'll trade. Trade with you.
We don't have to trade.
I don't care.
A deal's a deal. But yeah, each one is slightly different. The colorway is going to be a specific color because those are the ones we chose. But
Yeah.
hi, Michelle. Michelle is one of the most integral parts of the vinyl that we're advertising from Enjoy the Ride Records, and she just paid us a nice compliment saying the holiday EP tracks are amazing. And also, I didn't mention this. First of all, thank you. Secondly, I didn't mention this before, but for the first time ever as well on this holiday EP, Phantom Planet is Weird Al Yankovicing our own song that also hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
We satirized or Christmasized or holidayized a new song of ours that will be coming out, and this is the only way you'll ever be able to hear it on this vinyl. It's called Riding the Sleigh.
Yep. Wait, real quick.
Yeah.
Going back, because tell me if this is right, because I think you know this. She Will Be Loved is about Sam and some girl he liked.
I'll
always
tell you
thought
what.
I thought that was
I
about-
dated Andrea first, just so you know.
Is that who it's about?
Yeah.
Ah. I didn't know that.
But it's also possible that Sam is in there, but in the most cute, romantic, and tragic way in our late teens, early 20s when that song was written. All three of us dated this girl. She was beautiful, and she is beautiful. I haven't talked with this person in decades, but Andrea, if you ever hear this, you are loved.
Interesting.
Not that you will be.
Going on what we're
You
talking
are.
about right now. But yeah, Adam said She Will Be Loved was about his friend Sam in an interview around 2004, and I just assume it was the same Sam.
So
He just wasn't sharing the full details.
he didn't share the full details, and also that's a good question to ask Sam, because I wonder if he said Sam and meant someone else. You know, like trying to hide the people that it's actually about.
Right.
But also Adam's the honest, yeah.
Here's a good question for you, Al. What inspires new songs / sounds, artists, songs, books, movies, etc.?
I bet all of those things come into play, but because I'm a weirdo, I think what inspires new songs is if I can stay away from my phone long enough to get caught on some idea that begins to unravel is not a great way to analogize this, but begins to build upon itself that just gets more and more exciting. I feel like that's where things start with me. But like, there's never been a time, except maybe when I was like before even Fainted Planet was a band, where like I'd listen to the radio and say like, oh, I want to write something like that. Like I didn't listen to Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso and go, I gotta get on that vibe real quick. Though that is a fun song. Does that help? I one of the reason I even brought up the no phone thing is if we have the ability to get into flow state or hyper focus or whatever you want to call it, but like just be able to work on something that we're excited about for long enough, something cool is going to come out of it. And that's why I'm canceling all of our social media from here on out. This is the news. It wasn't just the vinyl.
Do you want to answer that?
No.
All right. What about that?
Very excited to come back to Canada. The last time we went, Darren and Sam had their computers stolen, or was it just you?
Was it that long ago? Yeah, so in 2008, I think it was 15, almost 16 years ago. We played in Montreal with, was that Panic at the Disco and Paramore? Alex went to that.
I think so.
Oh. We were opening for those bands, and while we were doing that, our van was broken into. And I had my bag stolen, my passport was stolen. Our tour manager at the time had a backpack that had money in it, and like all this crazy shit. He got that stolen. I don't know why I'm sharing this story, but it's a good one. It's the only time it's ever happened to us. But
Tell
we
the story.
love Canada. Yeah.
It's not in there. It's in the guest room. But it's Raise the Dead. It's not self-titled. Never mind, guys. I was gonna find the photo shoot from but it's Raise the Dead. It's not self-titled.
Gotcha. Let's see. I don't know what that means.
Someone's asking if Amazon they could buy these. You could answer that.
The vinyl?
Mm-hmm.
No, because maybe in a distant future we could sell whatever we want through Amazon, but in this case, this first ever pressing of the first time the self-titles ever come out on vinyl is just limited to 500 copies. And a little bit of that is, let's see if people want to buy the vinyl. And if it goes quick, we will print more. But this is the first pressing will always be the first pressing. Never forget.
Did you write from this day on about Andrea?
Good question. No, that was about Kelly,
Oh,
who,
yeah.
who was another girl that Adam Levine and I dated. And I was the first one on both of those.
Yep.
Not that that means anything, but but in some ridiculous sense, I feel like I'm responsible for inviting and introducing these girls into our lives.
Hi. Are there any
Robert
questions?
Schwartzman also with Kelly, just from this day on.
Oh, yeah, that's
Also
right.
after Adam.
Are there any questions from Patreon side?
Yes, I've been going and as we go.
So we're good. Okay. In that case, I would be down to maybe call it on the live as long as we're caught up.
Yeah.
Because this one right here has work in the morning, so we can't stay super late.
Yeah, that sounds okay to me. If anybody has any questions, last minute important questions, they don't even have to be that important.
We could also, though, for Patreon members, we could do a little listening party, quick one.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, okay. Listening party sounds fun. So any of you guys on Instagram, is this YouTube public or just
It's
it is
public, yes.
Okay. So if you go to our Patreon, there will be a link for the YouTube, but we're gonna move from Instagram to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to go to patreon.com/phantomplanet and click the fucking link. And it's not that crazy, but Instagram is always trying to pull you back in. If you wanna hear more of the self-titled, we'll have a listening party. I chilled some wine
Nice.
if you guys want some.
Sounds nice.
Sounds kind of nice. And
The Patreon stream is free.
awesome.
There are many things that are free on Patreon. There are just a lot of other things that aren't for free. For example,
That's a great question too.
yeah,
I
songs
didn't
that
mean to
haven't
cut
come
you off.
out yet, demos every single week for this entire year, or since November of last year. We've put out Phantom Planet recordings that have never seen the light of day before, like
Sure.
from '94 to 2000.
A very good question too. How do you find the link on Patreon? I will, once this live is over, I will go on Patreon and it'll be the most recent post. I'll put a link to it so you'll know exactly where it is.
Sign
but-
up for free and you can definitely see it for sure.
Yeah,
Mm.
if you sign up, you can sign up for free and you'll be able to see it.
All
So-
right. Should we take a break to pour some wine?
Yeah.
And then we'll reconvene on Patreon.
Well, maybe on
Live.
Patreon, what we could do is, I was just thinking maybe we can keep it going and play the record as we're kind of doing it.
Oh, okay.
What do you think? Al?
Yep, self-titled.
We can do that.
We're gonna play this one too because we already played this one and I know that it's not broken.
All right.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so we will see all of you guys
Bye,
on
Instagram.
Patreon.
on patreon.com/phantomplanet. There will be a link to a YouTube page, YouTube channel, YouTube, whatever. We'll see you in like 5 minutes. And we can't wait to see you guys too.
Bye, guys. All right, Patreon. Let's keep it going. We're gonna keep Patreon
Are we
moving here.
gonna like pour them some wine?
Here, let me do this. Boom. Okay, we're gonna pour some wine. And Al, since I have the Patreon camera here, do you want to, on your thing, I can like, we can just get the link. Sorry for this angle, you guys, of my big head, but
So much face.
if you go on, do this, go on Patreon,
No.
and then look in the
I won't do
chat.
it.
If you look in the chat, you'll find the link, and then make a post of it.
Hold on, I gotta title this thing before, we always lose the live.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, guys. This Patreon thing that we're doing right now is public because we want to get new people interested. But people aren't really going to find it unless they're coming on Patreon, it's just random. So
Okay,
let's see.
there we go. Shared.
Yeah, this is technically the Patreon stream, but again, this is a public one. Typically, when we do lives, that are Patreon lives, we'll do them private, so only people on Patreon can see it and attend it. But we figured these announcements that we're making are best for us to do them publicly. But now that we are here doing this, I mean, I guess we can make this not public anymore while we can start a new live for Patreon that's private and then play the record. What do you think?
It's a good question. I feel like we've got this thing going for so long. Should we break it
Give
up
them a
or
little-
just keep it?
What do you guys think? Should we keep this going and play it? Just leave it as a
Look at
public
my
live?
fucking nose here. Hold on.
Your
My
eye.
Gonna
eye.
take off. Okay.
Just your eye.
Some people are saying keep it. Some saying or make it private.
I mean, if we can share the link to Patreon and just keep this one up, then it saves everybody a bunch of hassle who's like still in here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, well, there's a lot of different views here. Keep it going, private, please. Keep it going, private, please. I will say, Al, this is a pretty special thing, and even though this is a public, man, that's a bad angle. There we go. Even though there's, it was just like light coming in, you know. Even though we would like to play this publicly, I think it might be a better thing to just keep it for Patreon members because that's kind of the idea here. you know?
Okay, so why don't we do? So we'll cut it out, but we'll make a post immediately on Patreon. But
Yes.
it could be for all members, not just paid.
Free too.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna post a link within 5 minutes. There's gonna be a brand new live. It's gonna be private, but if you want to come and you want to keep enjoying the live, and you're not already part of Patreon, you can literally sign up for free. You don't have to pay a cent, and you'll be able to come and watch. Cool. We love you guys.
Deal. See you soon.
We'll see you in like 5 minutes
With wine. Get your
with wine.
Good wine.
Goodbye. Thank
For
you for
your
coming.
wine.
See you in a few.